Ooh, child, this don't get better, it get worse. Y'all can pretend if you don't want to. I am your girl, Talisa Rae. What's up? How you doing, Ray of Sunshines? We are still reviewing Surviving R. Kelly. Now episodes 3 and 4. The sex tape scandal and the people versus R. Kelly. Let me just start by saying this. A lot of people are delusional about R. Kelly's behavior. A lot of people don't want to watch the Surviving R. Kelly story because they don't want to see it for what it is. Now, I've had several conversations today with people who have views that are extremely different than mine, somewhat different than mine, a little different than mine. Specifically when it comes to being a believer, I have had people say, people tell me, not just one, but several people, including a ray of sunshine, tell me that, people are quick to judge, and as a believer, we have mercy, etc., etc. Yes, we do have mercy, and we are forgiving. God forgives us, but we also atone for our behavior. We also take accountability for the things that we do. We understand the difference between right and wrong, and somehow R. Kelly is just fucking missing this entirely. And of course, this is only one-sided. Is he going to come out and say anything? Is he going to go ahead and give us a rebuttal? Is he going to deny any of these accusations on camera like he's done many years? He probably should just be quiet and go hide in a bunker somewhere. So let's just go ahead and start with the sex tape scandal, and let's talk about how it came out. So Lisa Van Ellen, that was the girl he met on the set of Keith Murray's video, and that he started dating when he was 17. We last talked about it. She found out that she had been having threesomes with a 14-year-old that she thought was 16. She went ahead and told us that she thought that, 16 was okay because it was close to her age. Like I said before, at least I think I said that was what I thought her logic would be. Okay, I'm going to turn my light down a little bit. Ooh, child. Feel like I was squinting on y'all. Reality hit at these threesomes, when he was the director. I mean, he was directing pornography, okay? Like telling them what to do, lights, camera, action, the whole 9 yards. Ain't no telling what he got going on now in his house, okay? But nonetheless, he left her with the bag that he used to keep the tapes in. And so she decided, I'm going to look at these tapes. Let me pop these tapes in and see what I can see. And she came to her tape, and as she watched her tape, she saw herself with the young girl, saw, was very disgusted, and then saw on this same tape him and that young 14-year-old by themselves, and he was urinating, giving golden showers, pissing in her mouth. She took the tape, kept the tape, took it to her hotel, but didn't want to keep it on her person because afraid that he would find it and something would happen. So she gave it to another artist. She gave it to somebody else for safekeeping. Well, that right there alone tells you that her brain wasn't functioning right. Like, she was disgusted, she was afraid, she knew it wasn't right, and she wasn't making sound decisions because she gave the tape to somebody else, okay? Somebody else in their camp that was one of his artists. Hello, somebody, a man on top of that. That I guess she trusted. Y'all. After I continued to watch this, I realized that he had really gotten to the mindsets of these young girls who then became women, because we saw that she had, she was 20 at one point is what she stated. I can't remember when. I might have wrote it down. I might checked it out. Oh yeah, I still got my pajamas on because I'm still not feeling good. It's the same day. Anyway, excuse me. I want to say that these people knew, like I told you before. Demetrius said he knew about the tapes. His friend and former security guard Jim knew about the tapes. And he said he was privy to some of these tapes. So here's my thing. You guys are all fucking accomplices. So you looked at these tapes and you thought all these women were of consenting age. We found out in episode 4 that 17 is the legal consenting age for sex. or whatever. So if she's 17, she can consent, and there's nothing you can do about it. So we'll get to that in a second. But Lisa then went on to call R. Kelly because she didn't want the tape to get out, and she told him, "Hey, Rob, I gave the tape to so-and-so. He's going to probably want leverage." They took lie detector tests. The guy lied on this test saying he didn't make duplicates, but he did. I mean, who wouldn't? I mean, let's just be honest. If you had gotten a tape that had R. Kelly on it and he was having sex with anybody, would you not have duplicated? I'm going to be honest. I would have duplicated it. And I probably would have also mass produced it. And I also would have probably sent it to the Chicago Tribune, the Chicago Sun-Times. Like, I would have done all that. I'm not going to even lie to you. Like, I know I would have been sickened. I know I would have been appalled. I know I would have probably wanted everybody to see it. I think that was the very first sex tape, celebrity sex tape that ever came out, and it was the one that was disgusting. I don't remember watching it all, and the copy I saw was very blurry. It was in 2000, so I was an adult. Royal was 4, so I had to be about 24. And I remember seeing it and remember being unable to make out R. Kelly. I remember hearing everyone say, that wasn't him, that's not him, oh, that is him. Like, I remember all the speculation around it. I didn't know either way, and I really didn't care. Once the Chicago Sun-Times got the tape and verified it and looked at it and saw that the girl's body looked very much underage, they found out that it was somebody that, you know, somebody said that there was this 14-year-old girl. They ended up contacting the coach. They ended up, you know, contacting her friends, got Sparkle to get there, and Sparkle was like, "That's her. I knew it was her because of her hair. I knew it was her, not because of her face, but I knew it was her because of her hair. I knew it was him, hands down." And as I sat and watched this, all I could think to myself was there was a whole slew of accomplices. Hands down, no questions asked. Like they said, I said that I think before, that everybody knew. Anybody in the camp knew. They had to figure it out. His personal assistant, probably his publicist. Everybody had a part that they had to play. Andrea said it very plainly. You could barely read and write. Who was booking these flights? Who was calling the hotels? Who was doing this stuff for you? Your team was. So nobody was holding him accountable, and that bothers me just as much as him dealing with somebody that was 14 and he's 30 or 30 whatever. You know what I'm saying? Like, that noise in the background is my loud ass child. But I just want y'all to know, like, as a society, like, okay, so in one of my conversations, I guess we did kind of feel like he was being criminalized and that they were trying to pin something on him. Somehow our community thought that wasn't him. We started believing that wasn't him, and just all kinds of shit. Now I think back on that, and even if it wasn't him, even if the tape wasn't him, we know that he did it. Even though it wasn't him, based on all of this, we know that he had sex with minors now. So when Sparkle had called her brother about the tape, they kind of excommunicated her from the family. They were like, "You're trying to ruin us. What are you trying to do?" And she was only trying to vindicate her niece, trying to correct a wrong that she had done. Did y'all look up Greg Landier, the bass player? I did. So first comes up is a junior, which is probably the son playing the drums. But he was a heavy-set guy on the bass. Did y'all look him up? If y'all didn't, I bet you will now. I believe that's him. I'm not sure, but I'm sure other people are looking, and I want to say that that's him. He's on a bass guitar. And yeah, I put in Greg Landier. I'm probably butchering his last name. Bass player for R. Kelly. And several photos came up, the junior, and I was like, okay, that's not him. And then there he was. We also found out that Lisa had gotten pregnant when she was 20 and had an abortion. She said she knew she didn't want to have a child with him, that she would be afraid that he would do this kind of thing to her own child. So you knew too, Lisa, what he was doing was wrong. Like, You 20 now. You can actually make a difference. You can actually speak up. You can actually speak up for yourself, of other people. You can actually do that now. And I don't know if it was out of fear. You know what I'm saying? I'm not judging her, but I am saying that everybody is responsible for what had occurred. They talked about all the different allegations coming through about how he had several lawsuits and how he had definitely paid people off. It actually came up when he did his Ed Gordon interview. I remember that interview because BET was hot back then. And when he did that Ed Gordon interview, he admitted to actually paying people off, but not being able to talk about it because he had a confidentiality agreement that people had signed, non-disclosure agreements. So he was really giving admission of guilt. It took me a long time to get that phrase out. So I want to know if you believe that Andrea didn't know anything about what was going on, that she was really secluded, that he was doing that great of a job, that no one told her, she didn't have any inclination that her husband had been sleeping with these underage women. Or was she just so afraid to say something and to speak out for fear of him abusing her, like she said he had been doing physically, and of being alone and having to, you know, fend for herself, like she needed to figure out a plan or what she could do. I want to say in episode 4, one of the therapists, one of the psychologists said something like it takes 7 times before an abused woman will actually leave, will actually get up the nerve to leave. It takes her 7 times. And I thought to myself, it was a statistic, and I thought to myself, are you fucking kidding me? Wow. So let's talk about the trial. So yeah, he had been arrested not for statutory rape, but for the 21 charges of pornography. If you guys remember, if you're as old as I am, you remember that whole situation. You also remember him being able to get out on bond. You also remember it taking a long time for the case to actually go to trial. And they gave varying reasons that made sense. You want the victim to seem older. However, the 14-year-old and her parents, so Sparkle's family, had denied that she was the girl on the tape. Sparkle got up there and testified that she was the girl. The coach and one of her close friends got up and said that that was her on the tape. But the actual victim said it wasn't me. But what got me was when that damn judge said he let the case go because he didn't believe what the young girls were saying when they got up on the stage because of how they were dressed. He didn't believe them. He discredited the things that they said because of how they looked. I was disgusted. Like, how in the fuck were you a judge? I mean, but that was common knowledge. And we all know that people judge us based on perception, what they see. Hello, somebody. Did y'all catch that? So when he went out on bail, I wrote down a note that said, how did you feel about Ignition and Step in the Name of Love? He did fucking redeem himself. Like, that was my shit. Ignition and Step in the Name of Love. Like, those were 2 songs that I know I absolutely love. Like, I wasn't huge on his other albums, but those 2 I absolutely loved. And you did kind of forget about the things that he had done. He had pretty much vindicated himself, even though he hadn't even gone to trial yet. At least that's how I felt. I mean, if you feel differently, let me know down below in the comments. And it's just really eye-opening when you think about, we do stand behind our people. Look how we stood behind OJ, knowing damn well he killed Nicole and Ron. I know he killed him. You know he killed him. Just like we know that R. Kelly has an affinity for young girls. Okay, so I'm not talking 17. I'm talking 14. I'm talking 15. And he's 30. And it wasn't until he was exposed that he started going to 18 and 19-year-olds. Because when he had that interview with Tori on BET, and Tori asked him that question, asked him, let's ask the question, do you like teenage girls? And that nigga came back with, well, what's teenage? Now, two things. I remember back then thinking, well, that's valid because teenage is 18, 19, and 18 is legal. And he said, I've got 19-year-old friends. So, but we were all looking for him to say, no, I do not like underage girls. Period. I don't like teenage girls. I guess that's what Tori said he was looking for. Like, he likes them young. If they were of legal age, he was all right. This is when that changed from being underage to now I need to deal with somebody that's legal. He had a employee that was blacked out, and who he had said he believed him, that wasn't him when he said that wasn't him on the tape, that they had become friends. And he now second guesses all that, but his identity was covered up because probably he's still friends with him, okay? Like, you still ain't hold him accountable, but you fucking know what he got going on, and you know what's going on behind them damn closed doors. One thing before we get to Geronda, Carrie backtracked. Carrie, when R. Kelly's lawyer said that was his brother on the tape, first off, they don't look anything alike. But R. Kelly was supposed to be like, oh, that's not my brother. You know, oh, that's nobody. That's neither of us. He didn't defend him because he got the idea from who? R. Kelly. The lawyer didn't just come up with that on his own. And so in retaliation, Carrie goes and spills the beans. We find out that R. Kelly had given him, had proposed, hey, I'll give you $100,000 if you do a disposition, sit down with my lawyers and say none of the stuff about me being a pedophile, etc., etc., etc. is true. But he declined, which to me says it was true. He wouldn't take the money. It was true. He knew. The brothers know what was going on. And you saw his other brother say when the not guilty verdict came in, that he was relieved that his brother was okay. So let's talk about Geronda Pace. Geronda, who was 14 when she first met R. Kelly, was sneaking up to the courthouse while her single parent was at home and rooting on R. Kelly. Going and getting a chance to be like, keep your head up, and because she was a super fan. She was in love with R. Kelly. A lot of young girls were in love with R. Kelly and the idea of the stardom. And when he got acquitted, he somehow found her, had a bodyguard tell her to come to the house, bring your bathing suit. Honey, had her prance around. First off, don't tell nobody that you coming here. Don't tell nobody you coming here. Keep it a secret that you come into my mansion in Olympia, okay? Paraded her around, had her parade around in her bathing suit, then had her get naked, bonded with her on the whole molestation issue, him being molested, her being molested, making her feel comfortable, but taking advantage of her. Gave her explicit instructions on what to do, how to do it. You couldn't use no cell phones. If you broke any rules, you were on the no eating list. My nigga, I can't eat. All I'm doing is drinking water and eating peanuts. How are these young girls? First off, I couldn't be away for 3-4 days. I remember leaving to go to Kansas City to meet my son's father, and my mother was like, oh, she done lost her damn mind. I was 18. Nevertheless, my mother was concerned. I texted her and everything. I'm sure she probably thought this girl had lost her mind. She ain't never coming back. What's going on over here? This ain't even clear. Have I been talking all this time and we ain't been clear? All right. Well, R had gotten bold enough to ask that young girl to go meet some people, bring me somebody back. And she went to someone else who was a super fan, Dominique. We were introduced to Michelle Kramer, and Michelle pretty much told R. Kelly, stay away from my daughter. My name is Michelle Kramer. Remember me. She actually took the police to the mansion and shit. She did what I would do as a parent. And when they got there, you know, she said she saw traces of young girls, but because they were 17 and that was the legal age in Illinois of consenting sex, it wasn't nothing she could do about it. It wasn't nothing she could do about it. But when her daughter came home, that's when she made the phone conversation. So I guess that's when we get ready to go into this next tomorrow, when they start talking about Michelle and her daughter. You know, I think her daughter was, you know, one of the sex slaves. Y'all, I'm excited about tomorrow's episode. Not excited, but I'm nosy and I want to know what's going on. Where do you stand with this whole R. Kelly situation? Do you believe they are trying to demonize him? Do you believe it's like a witch hunt? How do you feel about this entire thing? Let me know down below in the comments. Do you feel like they're doing him like they did Michael Jackson? You remember when they were saying Michael Jackson was a pedophile and he liked little boys, and all these people were, you know, lobbying with him, and there were people that were lobbying against him. Like, how do you feel? Do you feel like R. Kelly has reached that place where he's untouchable? Do you feel like he isn't doing anything wrong and that he's being portrayed incorrectly? I want to know down below in the comments. I'm sure that based on the way I sound through the video, you can see that I am disgusted. Like, you've crossed a few lines as it relates, more than a few, you crossed lines as it relates to how you treat these people, how you've treated women, how you treat girls, how you absolutely adore young women, and you're 50 years old now and you're still doing it. So I want to know what you think down below in the comments, because all I'm doing is giving you a bunch of my opinions and I want to hear yours. I am your girl, Talisa Rae. Thank you so much for watching my review of Surviving R. Kelly, episode 3 and 4, the sex tape scandal, and R. Kelly versus the people. If it's your first time visiting my channel, the subscribe button and the notification bell are your best friends. Click them both. Don't forget to hit the thumbs up button so that I know you like me and I know it's real. Hugs and kisses and lots of love. I'll see you on the next video, or you can catch me on the next video.